Last week's episode, surprisingly great. Let's see if they keep it up. If they do, this show could be quite fun to follow. If it reverts back to episode 1, not so much. Alright, what is that stance? If that's his stance, it might work, to be honest. It's bold enough that you don't know where it's going. So you're like, you know what? Ooh! You just split that skull clean, too. That's nasty work. Yeah, complete night and day difference between the rich bitch, huh? Basically was upset he didn't do anything in the fight, but he was conserving for the actual boss, where these guys understand what he's useful for. We'll take out the small bitches, and then we'll help you with the big bitch, but you're gonna be the main person behind the big bitch. Did this man just so smoothly release his earring as a spear? Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a dude with anger issues probably needs a weapon that's almost indestructible. Let's keep it real. You can even tell the difference in an episode like this. Like, remove the action. It's the general banter between the characters is so much better than that of the first episode. See, I thought it was just some creepy old guy in the background. Nah. As soon as you see that scythe in that face, that's the diddler. You run. You don't want what Diddy's selling. Yo, when in doubt, bonk away. Hey, you might have doubted in the process, but I see her standing. I say the bonks worked. I was gonna say, he looked like he was pretty competent while he was running. Like his drip and everything is a little surprising, but this makes a lot more sense. Look at that animation too, the fire erupting. What type of blast was that beast packing? And how is it still alive? You know, whatever you think of this boss, you can't deny that it went out with a fight. Like, it did not just go down and die. That thing kept trying to fight all the way to the very end. Oh, it's an actual sword. Okay, I really thought it was just going to extend as it was. I wasn't expecting it to look completely different. That's pretty cool, though. That's a cool... Between him and the black spear, they got some cool looking weapons in this party. At the end of the day, I know this man would probably stab us in our sleep, but I still want him a part of our party because the absolute entertainment would be fantastic. This is just a small snippet of the full live reaction available exclusively over on Patreon, but otherwise, let's jump into this and break down the past couple of episodes, because I think I might have been wrong and this show is unironically peak. I don't think I've ever stood by a statement before, more than the one I'm about to make. Airing episode 1 of Banished Court Magician as its first episode is a massive mistake. And I said it when I covered episode 1 a couple weeks back, that, hey, as a content creator, I can give this a little bit more of a shot. But your average anime fan, when they see 50 new things airing in a season, and episode 1 is as generic as it comes. And sure, there was some people who said, I don't really watch a lot of Banished Court Magician shows, so this one was pretty fun and different. Sure. But your average anime fan has seen the same premise done almost identical. What reason is there to check out episode 2 when there's probably 15 other shows that are at least unique from episode 1? And it's not to say that episode 1 should have been completely cut. I think they should have broken it up into chunks and slowly showed us flashbacks and stuff and seen how it is. But unironically, very little needs to change for episode 2 to be a proper intro to the show. Because not only does it immediately feel more exciting because the general banter of the party is so much better. Yeah, maybe show them getting tossed out from episode 1 and then transitioning into what we got in episode 2. So much better of an intro. And it's without exaggeration for me to say, episodes 2 and 3 feel like a vastly different show, and episode 1 is one of the most mid shows you could watch this year. The party as a whole is good. To be honest, I would actually say the weakest part of the party is your main character. And not that he's, oh my god, he's like watching paint dry. He's just, you know, out of the two girls, the guy, they're great. And honestly, as sad as it is to say, that is one of the reasons why I wanted to check out the show to begin with, because usually with these kind of banished hero parties, it's a group of all females and a male. Not to say always, but for the most part. And I also heard rumblings. I guess this is a spoiler, but I don't know. I don't really feel like this should count as a spoiler, but in the rare case someone gets mad, jump 20 seconds, I don't know. Apparently, it's not a weird harem. Each of the girls get with one of the guys in the party. So there's like 2 different relationships. And that sounded interesting too. But yeah, we had to get through a pretty boring-ass episode 1. The action was fun, but the rest of it, not so much. I actually like the backstory, it's just, it's not fun to kickstart the show like that. So, once the party is reformed, we essentially get this quest. Okay, we gotta go defeat some floor bosses. And I gotta admit, the action's great, the 3D is great, the banter's great, and honestly, the more I'm watching, the more I'm like, okay, I see the potential. You have obviously what you expect with your MC. He feels a little skeptical, because, the last time he tried to, restrict himself, preserve his mana, because he's like, I'm gonna deal with the big bosses, I'll support you guys as much as I can, and then his party was just garbage and then blamed him for not doing anything and being a lazy bastard. Where this party's like, nah bro, you gotta preserve that shit. We'll take care of the small fry. You gotta preserve your big dog mana for, obviously, the big dog bosses. It's really a night and day difference, and they're not overly making it like he's not sitting in a corner, like, rocking back and forth in the fetal position, but he's genuinely shook because he, for 4 years, was treated completely different. Yes, he has experience with this party, and yes, this party does obviously value him, but going and, you're dealing with people you haven't seen for 4 years. It's going to take a little bit to get back in the driver's seat and be like, okay, I can fully trust him, especially when the stuff you recently experienced is a complete difference to this. The fact that he's also only really casting Lightning Bolt, or Thunderbolt, I think is what it's just a Pokemon name, it's what he's using. He did use some fire spells at the very end, but he's, he even gets confronted, like, hey, why are you only using this? And he comes up with the lie that, oh, it's the quickest to cast. No, it feels like it's probably what he was restricted to in his former party, if I'm not mistaken. But the boss was fun. Loki was a fun character. I didn't honestly see him coming. I knew Loki is a trickster. That's what that name always means. But the fact that he's, running for his life and then he sets off booby traps, I thought that was pretty fun. He ain't gonna join the party. I'm pretty sure the party's gonna be just the 4 of them, but a man can hope, because I think he would offer a chaotic extra element that would be fun as hell. I'm just having a great-ass time, I gotta be real. This show, I was wrong, but I stand by my statement with everything I criticized with episode 1. Episode 1 was a mistake. I said if they would have at least aired 2 episodes in one, maybe my problems would have gone away. And yeah, if you would have given me episode 1 and 2 on the same day, I would have been like, yeah, episode 1's not great, but episode 2 is pretty fantastic. Unfortunately, they gave us that week delay. And to be honest, a lot of people probably didn't even check out episode 2 because they're like, episode 1 was so mid, I got all these other shows. There's 15 things that air on Saturday. You can't expect your fandom to turn up if you deliver a mid-first episode. I'll do it, because I watch everything, but even I was like, man, this one's close to getting dropped. But hey, you know what? The anime industry is an interesting beast. The show you think is going to be the one you're guaranteed going to drop turns into one that you're actually unironically excited about, and one of the shows you were really excited about, Dust Beyond the End of the World, has turned out to be the show you're convinced you're gonna drop. So, you never quite know what you're gonna get. You gotta try stuff, you gotta form your own opinions. But either way, I had a really good time the past couple of weeks, and I think so far, the episodes have gotten significantly better as they've gone on. Great animation, fun cast of characters, and, while it still follows your traditional Banished Party formula, the fact that the cast as a whole is different than what you typically see and not as generic makes for a pretty worthwhile time. Let me know what you thought in the last couple of episodes though, and do you agree with me that the show has been getting better, or are you one of the people, I'm sure there's some out there, that thought episode 1 was the best? Let me know. Drop a like, show your support, though, subscribe if you're new around your Patrons, so you can catch this full live reaction, so I'll listen more like how I also like to give video shoutouts to my patrons. Alright, so today we got the Drunk Crusader, Austin Fernand, Rookie, Omega Alpha 83, Winter Naomi Vera, and we also have Arecido, so I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, y'all have a good one.